Yes, thank you, Hazel. Both players back in the auditorium, ready to kick off again after the mid-session interval. And
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Oh, it'd have been a nice sweet cup of tea for Ronnie O'Sullivan, but not so much for his opponent. I don't know whether he's got with him in his corner, but I had a word with him and tried to encourage him and tell him just to settle down. It's one of been the features today that he doesn't really look comfortable out there. Only a young man, of course, part of the learning curve, but he's had some chances today. He never would have given up in the earlier rounds. That's a good start. Good pot.
Backing pot, as you say, John, and that's what he's capable of. You know, he's a very, very capable player, this player, ranked at 32 in the world. Very, very good player for such a young man. I had a look down his stats earlier on, and I suddenly realised how old I'd become very early on. He was, the year I turned pro was the year he was born. So that hasn't done anything for my feelings since my first round defeat there the other day. But anyway, we press on. Doesn't want that red in the middle. Oh, that's worked out really well. Great shot.
Well, there's two positive shots since the interval.
8.
And this does happen, doesn't it? Sometimes you have an interval at 4-0. You say, well, I'm going to go out. I'm just going to go for my balls now. I'm going to go for the shots. And when they pop out, I'm going to attack the game and see where it gets me. And so far in this frame, it's got him another really good chance. He's had a good 3 or 4 chances. Had a chance in every frame before the interval.
Yeah, he's one good pot positional shot away. They're not perfect where they are. He's got a little bit of work to do with the cue ball. A little bit unlucky to finish where he has done. I'd like to have been a bit more straightforward. As I say, the pot shouldn't be a problem with the rest. It's just, can he get position? And because of that, he missed the pot.
Show you long. 8.
Yeah, as John said, he's just playing it with a touch of right-hand side to try and get the angle around the black, back of the black, to avoid the reds on the side. And it's just been the case so far.
Yeah, sure.
Anything with a little bit of difficulty attached to it, he hasn't liked it. Still hasn't settled. We're in frame 5.
You know yourself though, Sean, it's one of those games, snooker, isn't it, when you're just not quite at it. You just run that little bit awkward all the time. When you're playing well, everything seems so easy. You walk to the table, they're all in perfect positions, and the game seems very simple, but it's just gone a little bit awkward for him. And of course, awkward by the fact of who he's playing as well. Pot success. Brilliant, isn't it? 95%. Fabulous.
Yeah, that statistic really shows the story of the match so far. 77% for Zhou. He would be disappointed with that on any day, but out here in centre stage against the best player of all time, you've got to be up there in the 90s competing with him. Because Ronnie always is high 80s and 90s, never dips below there.
8.
Some care and attention here, and to play with backspin coming off the red next door. Nicely played. Easy to stick in that situation. In that case, more spin was better than less spin. Takes his choice. He play for the red nearest the black here. He's got the one over the middle pocket, or he can play the split. Just playing for the one nearest the black.
16.
Again, he played that shot with a lot more pace than some players might have done, taking the potential for sticking on the intervening red out of the equation. Just wanted to knock it out of the way. Sometimes you can play those shots a bit too softly and you end up sticking on a red, but no such problems for Ronnie. Just a question of how he sees this. He could play the split. Got a couple of reserve reds. Very nicely played.
Yeah, noted that he played it with pace. Watch this.
24.
If you played that any softer, that cannon, the ball had been stuck in the middle of those reds, so having the excess spin on it there just brought it out from the cannon and left him this.
25.
So even when you've got those type of shots, you've still got to know what pace you're going into them. And it couldn't have been played any better. It's pretty obvious he'd be looking for 6-0 in this match. You don't get paid for overtime out there, so anytime you can keep a bit of petrol in reserve by winning a match nice and easy, that's what you'll be looking to do. And it has to be said, it has been easy for him this afternoon because his opponent hasn't really punished him.
33.
Yeah, get the job done and back to your hotel room and relax, let everybody else sweat, getting through to the next round.
And to be fair, he's made a career of it. He's made a career out of getting through these early rounds
40.
with as little problem as possible. Reserves as much energy as he can. Now, obviously, he has had close matches and he has had deciders, and he doesn't
41.
win every tournament he plays, but generally he gets through these early matches without much difficulty at all, doesn't have much stress. Keeps as much energy in reserve as he can possibly muster.
Nice little cannon there, just flicked
47.
into the two reds. Open those up now. You know, people often say to us, Sean, how many shots ahead are you thinking, you know,
48.
when you're making a break like this, and like Sir Ronnie, but sometimes, you know, you have a plan and you're playing and all of a sudden you come in an area where you think, oh, I'll play this shot instead, and it's usually, you know, 2-3 shots maximum, but like I said, that one maybe landed on a perfect position just to flick a red out, and he knew full
54.
well had to be on the one in the middle, and all of a sudden 3 reds are in play.
Yeah, and you're
55.
constantly changing your mind. I mean, that shot there, he played for the red to lead to the black next. He went a little bit too far with it, and so he has to replan and go up for the pink. Of course, it's no problem. All the balls are available into pretty much every pocket, so... But you just have to be flexible with your shot choice. Sometimes
61.
you can get stuck on a plan and force yourself to play to your original ideas. You've got to be flexible, and when you do run out of position, try something else.
62.
And that's just finished in the most awkward place it could have done. I think that's finished absolutely bolt straight on the blue. Half a turn of the ball either side of that straight line there would have been able to get to the reds to the left easily, or the reds to the right centre pocket near where he is now. And he's just deciding which one he prefers. Where does he want to stretch over? Obviously with Ronnie, he plays right-handed and left-handed,
67.
but just prefers this reaching over these two reds here, playing the red in the green pocket.
$68.
Of course, that was frame ball, puts him 60 points ahead with only 59 on. Easy blue to follow.
And the other thing, of course, for Ronnie O'Sullivan, when you
73.
play these young up-and-coming players, he needs to put his marker down as well. You know, if he can win this match 6-0, Joe's going to think, oh, I've got Ronnie O'Sullivan in the draw again. Look what happened last time. So it's very
74.
important when you play these players, certainly early on in their careers, that you let them know what you're all about.
I remember playing Stephen Hendry in an exhibition match as a 12-year-old boy, and I had a couple of shots and he
77.
cleared the table, and as he walked past me in my chair, as he was potting the blue to get to the pink, he walked past me and he
78.
said, well, this is what Steve Davis did to me, and so I'm going to do it to you. And it was exactly what you've just said. I left that arena in no uncertain terms who the boss was.
Yeah, be pleased to know he's mellowed since then slightly.
83. $84.
Didn't really do much with the cue ball there other than drop it in, so It'll be blue and back double, you would think. You see our first century of this match.
89.
Not to play, but another wonderful contribution from Ronnie O'Sullivan. A mistake from his young opponent, and he steps in with a break of 89, and it's now 5-0.